Hello, internet fans. Welcome to 3B Video. I'm your host, Rotten Roger DeMarco, and this is the Adam Green story. So back in 2016, I was working at a factory that I'd given the better part of 10 years to, and they pulled me into the office and they gave me an ultimatum. Either I could go to third shift, or I could resign. And since I had a family at home, a wife and 2 kids, I did what I thought I should do, and I went to third shift. I'm not sleeping in the same bed with my wife. We were working 12-hour days, 7 days a week, and it was just destroying me. And I pleaded with this HR department. They looked me in the face and told me to suck it up, which was probably the hardest pill I've ever had to swallow. And so I asked, when will I be able to get back to my day shift position? And they said, probably about 10 more years. I was a fish out of water. I was depressed beyond depressed. And my best friend in the whole wide world, Evil Dead Inks, would talk to me every night because he worked a similar shift. And we weren't allowed to have our phones out on the floor or anything like that. But he messaged me and he said, hey man, I know you like Adam Green. I know you really like Holliston. I know you like all this stuff. You should really give the Movie Crypt podcast a listen. And I was kind of stuck in my old man ways. I'd never listened to a podcast. I thought it was this weird like hipster trend thing. I'm not gonna listen to a podcast. And after about a week of him just harping on me, I said, you know what? All right, I'll download some. I'll sneak my headphones into work because it's third shift in the very back of the factory. Nobody will notice, right? So I go for a couple of months every night listening to 3 episodes of the Movie Crypt. I'm laughing with Adam and Joe. I'm crying with Adam and Joe. And I hit this weird turning point where they had Tiffany Shepis on an episode. And she's answering questions about how to break into the industry. And she mentions a filmmaker out of Kansas City named Patrick Ray, who I was familiar with and had met a few times in the convention circuit. And so the night wears on and I'm listening to this podcast and I say, what do I got to lose? So at 3 o'clock in the morning, I pull my phone out and I find Patrick on Facebook and I send him a message and I say, hey, if you have anything coming up that you're working on, I would gladly work on the set for free. By the time I got off work at 7 in the morning, I had a message from him. And he was working on a family film called Duke, which later got titled Belong to Us. And I worked 3 16-hour days on this film. Nothing crazy. I drove to Kansas City. I tried to be the first person there and the last person to leave, carry the lights, do whatever was needed, and just observe the filmmaking process. And it was amazing. So I got to meet more people on his crew, like Sav Rogers, and I began to work with him on short films and other things. And we kind of built this relationship with film in some capacity, but I wasn't quite sure what. So I went from a PA to a key PA to art department to scumbag number 4, all of these different extra positions. And one day it just clicked. I was having this conversation with my wife and she was like, you love movies, you love the video store culture, why not make this work? Then you're in charge of the camera, you're in charge of the lights, you're in charge of the content you create, as much as I despise the term content creator. So after I got the verification that I was going to be working on a film set with Patrick, as insane as this is, I put my 2 weeks in. I didn't want to do that job anymore. I wanted to work on film. And I knew that the ups were going to be high and the lows were going to be low. I knew that we were already eating ramen noodles, so what's the worst that could happen, right? Luckily for me, I had a fantastic support structure with my wife, who always encourages me to chase after whatever insane dream that I conjure up in my brain. So the answer seemed to be right in front of my face all along, and I just didn't know it. my wife and I were having a conversation, and she's like, why don't you just do the YouTube thing again? Why don't you just talk about films that you love and don't do anything negative and have fun, and you're in charge of the camera, you're in charge of the lights, you're in charge of what you create. So we started doing that. And over the course of 2 years, we have rebranded, we've changed things around, and we built a video store, because the one thing that is most important to me and Evil and all the people in my circle is keeping this video store culture alive.
It's for Mikey.
Are you just gonna cut this part out?
Can I Mikey something? So here? No?
Oh.
Yeah. Good job.
And I never would have thought that I would find so many people who are into the same things that we are, who are all about the preservation of physical media. And there's a lot of people out there who have video stores in their houses. It's kind of crazy. I've kind of gone full circle, and a lot of that has to do with Adam Green and the messages that he puts in his films, the messages that he puts in his TV series Holliston. We kind of live by that moniker of one more day. And I think that it's a very important moniker to have. And somebody has to tell you the truth, that if you decide to chase your dreams, if you decide to throw caution to the wind and say, I'm not gonna work in a factory anymore, I'm not gonna work in fast food anymore, I'm not going to do these things that are expected of me because I think that there's something out there for me that I'm supposed to do, a lot of people are going to look at you like you're insane, and a lot of people are going to be like, nope, and just write you off. But what's important is that you know what you want to do and you go after it. And that one more day saying has gotten me through a lot of rough times. I don't want to downplay the importance of mental health by any means, because I was in a really rough spot. And even though I have a wonderful support system and I have these 2 amazing kids and a great family and really, really good friends, working in that environment, working in that factory job where I was just a number, I didn't seem to matter to anybody, was soul sucking. And it put me so close to an edge that I never thought I would get to. And I'm glad that I had the balls to say, I'm not gonna do this anymore. It's not worth it. You know, $13 an hour is not worth it for anybody. If there's something you wanna do it. Because you're not guaranteed tomorrow. You're not even guaranteed the rest of the day. So go after what you wanna go after, and be awesome. I don't know if Adam will ever see this, but I just want to say thank you to Adam Green for all the advice over the years. And it might be a simple thing, you know, he might say, one more day. But those 3 words carry a lot of weight. You don't have to take it from me, you can listen to him.
What's up, Roger and Evil at the 3B Video YouTube and the Deep Cut podcast. We've met in Kansas City, right? And because I recognized you guys as soon as I looked up your shit. So Dustin says that you guys could use some one more day wisdom. You know what sucks about writing a piece like that and having it delivered by a dude like Dave Brocky is that everybody wants more of it, and I kind of dropped the mic with it. Like, I don't know how else to say it, but I hope that Dustin's not asking me to tell you guys that because you're thinking about giving up. Because if you're thinking about giving up, I will fucking kill you. I will seriously fucking kill you. What you guys do is cool. You clearly love doing it. You put a lot into it. I mean, dude, look at this. Look at that. Most people, all it is just, hey guys, yeah, so what do I think about? But like, you guys have apart. You make your little sketches. I've seen your Holliston show open that you did. It's fucking badass. So please tell me that you're not thinking about giving up and that that's why you need some one more day wisdom. Because if you need some one more day wisdom, it's just, fuck you, don't stop. Not enough people put effort in like this. And it's impressive, man. It's cool shit. And I'm not just saying that because you're reviewing one of my movies, because I haven't heard what you had to say about it yet. And I might regret this, because maybe you do need to quit. Because like, what if it's like, oh man, Hatchet's like the biggest piece of shit ever. And I'm gonna be like, damn, why did I tell them to keep going? I should have told them to quit, because that's usually what I do. I just troll YouTube, and if somebody makes a negative comment about any of my stuff, I'm like, you know what you should do is quit. But you guys shouldn't quit, because I'm assuming you said nice things. I know you said nice things. Seriously though, I hope that that's not why. And let's just assume you're not thinking about giving up and that you're not being frustrated with everything that you guys do. And also too, if you are, remember it's a pandemic, and at this point, 6 months in, everybody's going to shit, everything sucks, everything seems like it's the end of the world, like it's never gonna get better, but it will, it always does. The sun will shine again. So keep doing what you do, because clearly you guys love what you do, and that's the most important thing. Whether or not it ever catches on and becomes something bigger, as long as you love it, trust me, because even if it does get bigger, if you don't love it, it sucks. It sucks. So be careful what you wish for. All right, that's all. There's so many fucking commercials on your YouTube channel. I guess that's my fault for being a cheap ass and not springing for the YouTube without commercials, but what am I fucking made of money? I fucking made Hatchet for fuck's sake. I did Spiral for free. I don't even think I ever got paid on Digging Up the Marrow. I need a new agent. If you guys could send me back a video with some advice about getting better representation and, I don't know, better union reps, and hopefully actually someday, I don't know, getting paid for the things that I do, like that would be really cool, because I could probably benefit from it. But right now, I'm gonna get back to watching this badass Buddies Forever review about a little movie called Hatchet. Stay safe, wear a mask, and don't be a dick. One more day.
It's an imposter, Victor. We got away with it too. One for you.
What, are you guys laughing at me? Fucking start watching your shit and you're laughing at me? God damn it. I shouldn't have done this.
So in the midst of all of this stuff, Adam Green actually announces that they made a fourth Hatchet movie. They made Victor Crowley, and he was gonna go on tour from city to city and actually be in attendance and have a Q&A and show Victor Crowley. And one of the places he was gonna be was Kansas City. So of course, me and Evil jumped at the opportunity to go see this movie and have the chance to meet Adam Green face to face and just tell him what he meant to us. My wife and I made this Arwen's Treats box, because if you're a Patreon of their Movie Crypt podcast, a thing that you can do is you can tip Arwen a treat, which means you're just donating money to their cause. So we made a custom Arwen's Treats logo container, and we filled it with a bunch of $1 bills and got to hand deliver this to Adam Green. And I'm not sure, but he might have teared up. He might have teared up. It was very emotional for us, and just getting to explain to him what the Movie Crypt podcast, what Hatchet, and what Holliston had done for us. Fast forward about a year, and then me and Evil are making these replica hockey masks just because we didn't want to spend the coin to buy replica hockey masks to fill up our movie rooms. And we get a gig in Kansas City at Panic Fest selling masks. Lo and behold, Adam and Joe and Arwen are there in the same building as us for 2 days. So there was a lot of interacting, there was a lot of shooting the shit with each other. We gifted Adam and Joe both hockey masks, and again, I felt like you couldn't get any better than that. Like, we spent 2 days with these guys. I got to introduce my kids to Adam and Joe. It's so weird, the age that we live in, that we can make lifelong friends without ever even being in the same room with them. So when you're actually in the same room with them, you just get to further that friendship, and it's amazing. Who would have thought that the internet could bring us all together? I know there's a lot of bullshit on the internet, but that's besides the point. So we leave Panic Fest and we think, cool, that was super rad. You know, it's a feather in our cap. It's a super high note that we're living on. Fast forward to the next year's Panic Fest. Evil and I go just to go. We don't go to sell masks or anything like that. And Adam and Joe are going to be there. And they have a meet and greet and an autograph signing, and just like everyone can hang out and shoot the shit. From the second we see them, my kids latch on to Adam and Joe. Joe carries around my son. My daughter gives them artwork that she drew for them. But they knew who we were. And they meet a lot of people, you know, and for them to know who we were and remember us and know you're those guys that built that video store and you do those little silly skits and things like that. It was life-changing. It was one of those things. It was like, I know you guys meet a lot of people. I know that people come and go and you get to listen to all these sob stories. But for them to remember my sob story in particular, it was incredible. And I never, ever in my wildest dreams thought that Adam Green and Joe Lynch would know who we were at all. So you never know who's watching, guys. So whatever you're making, whatever you're creating, just keep grinding, and you never know what's gonna happen. Because when we started this whole thing, being kind of social misfits and being these guys that didn't have a large circle of friends, the best thing that we could hope for was to introduce a couple of people to movies that we really liked that they'd never heard of. And somewhere along the fucking weird road that we've been traveling, we've made some lifelong friends. And that's where the whole moniker of Buddies Forever comes from. It's just amazing to connect with people that you've never met before. And hopefully we do meet someday. And that would be amazing. We could all get together and talk about these movies that we love, and there would be no bullshit, no drama, no hate. And I hope that I can do for you what Adam Green and Joe Lynch have done for me.